Yeah, thank you for having me on your program. And you're absolutely right that at this point, we're not entirely clear about all the facts. So we need to be really careful before we arrive at any bold conclusions. Now, having said that, I'm cautiously optimistic that the parties will be able to perhaps avoid dangerously moving up the escalation ladder. It seems that right now, the message from Iranian state media is that this was a tiny attack, an ineffective attack. And given that, I think we might see the Iranian side try to sort of dismiss this. And this gives us reason to think that we won't see Tehran respond in some sort of powerful way that further escalates the tensions in the region. Of course, it's a very dangerous environment and things can rapidly change. And also the Iranian system is very complicated, meaning there are different elements within the Iranian state, the IRGC, other entities too. So there's also going to probably be different views among the Iranians as to how they should respond. But again, I think that we have good reason to believe that further escalation might not inevitably happen right now.
It is too much to expect and hope any break in the impasse at the moment regarding what's going on in Gaza. But do you think potentially one could be optimistic? And from your previous question, I sense your optimism that actually direct action between Israel and Iran, we could be at the end of that phase now. I appreciate that obviously via proxies, whether it be the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, this is still going to go on, this horrendous conflict. But direct action, which a lot of people fear is the next step and next escalation. You seem pretty optimistic that we could potentially see a line in the sand drawn on that one.
Yeah, well, I think we need to keep in mind that, believe it or not, ever since October 7th, the Iranians have not wanted to be in a direct war with Israel, nor a direct war with the United States. We have seen quite a bit of restraint from Iran since the Israeli war on Gaza began almost 7 months ago. I think Iran realizes that there's so much for Iran to lose from some sort of all-out war with Israel or the United States. And certainly possible that we'll see Iran try to maneuver in a way so that it goes back to confronting Israel through groups in the region that it supports, whether we're talking about the Houthis in Yemen, Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, so on and so forth.
Giorgio, I mean, what sway then does President Joe Biden, the United States, kind of have with regards to this? And only because we've seen, of course, both parties perhaps not necessarily listen to the United States in any form with regards to where we are right now. What sway does the U.S. have here?
Well, the U.S. has a tremendous amount of leverage. If the U.S. wanted the war in Gaza to come to an end, the U.S. leadership could make that decision instantly. The issue is that the Biden administration has chosen, for political reasons, to not use that leverage. And I think when we're trying to understand Israel's behavior in recent weeks, recent months, it's explained within the context of the Biden administration not establishing any red lines or giving the Israelis any ultimatums. The Israeli leadership is not worried about any consequences from the Biden administration for its actions. And I think that that does a lot to help us explain how the situation in the region has become so dangerous.
Yes.